What's up, guys? It's Brian from Hashware Hub. It's about 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time, March 12, 2018. We have a trading video coming right to you. But if you're new to us, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. And if you're on Steemit and or DTube, we'd love for you guys to follow us there and upvote. We would be very, very appreciative. And the same thing with a Resteem as well. So let's get right on into it here. What happened? What happened? Where did we leave off last? I think we left off last like somewhere right around here, right? Let's just call it somewhere around here, right? And yeah, I think this was selling off, or I don't know if it got down to this point right here, but we were talking about this ascending wedge, right? And I'm gonna show you a bunch of different things today. When I say different things, I mean just different ways of counting these things, and I hope I don't go too fast or too quick or flip flop back and forth too much, but at the very worst, you're gonna have to kind of rewatch this a little bit, or maybe you can send us some questions if you have some questions. But so we have this ascending wedge, right? And the ascending wedge, I mean, one of the ways you could have gone ahead and looked at it, I mean, you could look at it, where there's like, 1, 2, and we're looking for like a 3, 4, 5. That didn't really happen all that much, but what did happen is as we were coming to the bottom of the ascending wedge here, we did kind of pierce right through it. So I don't really think it was an ascending wedge all that much. What it could possibly be is something called the bearish flag. Okay, and this seems to fit pretty nicely. This seems to fit really nicely, right? So we would be looking for like an A, B, C, D, E. I mean, bearish flags, they don't need to go A, B, C, D, E. I mean, they can go much further, they can go much less, so on and so on. But I'm going to leave it up here. It really doesn't make too much of a difference as far as the count is concerned, or anything else like that. But sometimes it's just fun to watch these things. So what happened? So the market handily came through the 1 hour support of 9,570, right? It came right through it. Now it stopped right at the 4 hour support. 4 hour support of 9,146. Right? That's this blue line right here, and you can see what had happened. This is a 1 hour chart again. And you can see, it came down, it touched it here, and we had a doji, right? All these wicks are trying to get underneath it, and then all of a sudden we had this candle right here, this bearish candle. This line is just from the line above it. Okay, it's not like a trend line that comes from down here. Sometimes some people get confused and they email me about it, and they think it's some sort of trend line that goes back into time. So yeah, so we broke below this 4 hour support of 9,146, and this is one of the reasons why I like to go ahead and I'd like to kind of keep these things back up, because especially for trading reasons, particularly, a lot of times, even though it comes back down again, that the market will try to run back up again, right? And I try to utilize this in order to gauge, well, the bullishness or the bearishness of the trend, depending on which way we're going, right? So one of the things we got as far as volume is concerned, we got a huge rejection right here of the low. This low in this candle right here was 8,742.07, right? We got a huge rejection of that low right here, and with a fair amount of volume. Okay, I mean, I'm just kind of zooming out here to show you guys, where we are as far as volume is concerned. That's this candle right here, which is about this high. Yeah, I mean, pretty high. I mean, not as high as what's going on over here, but definitely more of an outlier than what we've seen as far as other volume candles are concerned. Now, my concern is that did we exhaust a ton of buying power, right? And the reason why I'm concerned about that is because if we exhaust a ton of buying power just to stop this falling knife, then we could fall that much harder in the future. And I'm going to kind of show you both things here, within the next few minutes. So when I say both things, I mean kind of bullish and bearishness. So so then we had still a few more bullish candles, green candles, and some okay volume, to say the least. So yeah, we're going back above this 4 hour support of 9,146. 1 hour support, I'm actually going to go ahead and call this 1 hour resistance, okay? And this 1 hour resistance is going to be at a level of, let me just do this. Well, no, I could do that. Hold on a sec. 1 hour resistance is going to be at a level of 9,491, okay? 9,491. And so, oh, sorry about that, resistance. I gotta get a headset because I gotta keep on putting my arms around this microphone. It's kind of a pain. Sorry about that, guys. So next, so then the 4 hour is the same. Okay, we're keeping this. Actually, hold on one second. I don't know if that is actually correct. Hold on one second. Yes, that's correct. So we're holding on to this right now because of the fact that they're 9,146 4 hours apart, because of the reason we've come back above it, right? It kind of almost like brings it back alive again. Clearly there's something here that the market is looking at around this 9,146. And yeah, I mean, you can see there was other congestion, here, here, this was, a point of resistance, okay? And so on and so on. So yes, we are calling this support right now, right? Even though it's acting as resistance right now, we're calling this support because that's what it was originally, right? When we were flying up over here, we were saying that we would not like the market to come down too far below 9,146 and kind of close below that for any great length of period of time, because then we feel like we were going to come down lower from there. So let's back up here for a second, okay? So if we back up here for a second and we call that this is the fifth wave. Remember, we go back to our previous videos and you'll see that we were talking about this being a 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, right? Where basically this is over here, and then we have an A, we have a B, and we have a C, right? A, B, C. Correction, right? And if that's an A, B, C correction, then what we're having here is basically a motive wave up, right? And so we can look at this as this is a 1, a 2, and then we're going to have a 3, 4, and a 5 all the way back up over here. The problem becomes it's starting to retrace quite a bit, right? So we have 1, right, 2, and then we're going to have the 3 up here. It doesn't look very impulse-like. It doesn't look very motive-like. It could be. It just doesn't look that way at all. I would have much rather this would have been some sort of ascending triangle that was very nice and very nice, and it kind of went through its A, B, C, D, E, or it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and yeah, that's not a problem. You can have ascending wedge as a first wave. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I would have liked that much more than kind of what I'm seeing right here, when the market kind of came down here. Okay, so let's say, for example, so we have the bullish, we have the bullish count, right? So we have the 1, the 2, 3, right? But this is 3. This is wave 1 of 3, okay? And so that would make that this would be an ABC correction, right? So if this right here is an ABC correction of wave 1 of 3, well, I'm hoping it has more of a rally than this, right? Let me just because if this right here helps, if I click on it, if this right here is an A, a B, and a C, well, I would really like the B to get higher, okay? And for me, I would like the B to kind of be somewhere around 9,500. Right, I would like to show the market that we can get to like that 9,500 level. If there was a lot of bulls in here, I would say we should be able to get somewhere around the 9,500 level. I would really like that, because then we would break all this resistance right here. You're basically sitting right on top of it, right? And then the C can be kind of like a truncated C. Doesn't mean anything. It could be like up here, right? Doesn't need to be anything all that pretty, right? The problem becomes is if this is right here, right? So basically, if this is the end right here, right? Then we can have a C coming down like this. And what I'm afraid of is that if we do have this C coming down like this, let me go ahead and just say, let's say we have a 1-to-1, right? We have 1-to-1. Yeah, it's drawn pretty much spot on, right? If we have a 1-to-1, that brings us to a level of about 8,159. That's where this C is right here, about 8,159. Okay? Now, my concern is that does the market see this as an ABC where this is really, you know, a part of a bullish, you know, move up, or does it see that it goes ahead and it breaks down, right? Now, yes, in the event that this does happen, right? Let's say in the event that this does happen, right? Then we have wave failure right here, and now we're looking at a bearish scenario. Okay, so if this truly is an ABC, another reason why I want to be somewhere around 9,500 is because then we can have a C that's, you know, I don't know, somewhere around here, right? Right, somewhere around here. It doesn't need to come below like the beginning of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Because then we have wave failure and then we're doing something else, right? So that's why I really want this to run up, because then if we have a small little corrective wave coming down, it's not that big of a deal. But if this doesn't run up and we have another wave coming down, well, this whole thing falls apart, and we're looking at this to count this as a bear, not a bull. So if we start counting this whole thing as a bear, well, then what happens next, right? So we've spoken about this, you know, WXY that we could possibly have, you know, the zigzag, etc., right? There's a few different things that could possibly happen, but I'm going to simplify it for a lot of people because I've gotten a lot of questions and stuff like that, especially people that are new to all this. Let's just think about this as a large ABC, okay? And it totally can be counted like that. So we have an A, we have a B, and a C, okay? Remember, so right here, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Well, this would be the truncated fifth, and we've been counting it like this for eons, it feels like, right? And we have zigzag, we have an ABC coming up, remember? So, okay, so this is a large ABC, right? Then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming down, and then we have A, B, C, and then really this right here is really a leg 1 down. We have 2, we'll have a 3, you know, 4 and 5 coming down. Now, what could possibly happen, right? Where if we just do a 1-to-1 extension, what could possibly happen? Okay, 1-to-1 extension, what could possibly happen? So if we have, in other words, if we have the length of this, of the C, if that's the same length as we have in the A, where could we end up? Well, the number is 6,503. Okay, right, pretty much where we have this Y right here. So I can put the C pretty much right there too. Okay, 6,503. And quite honestly, that doesn't seem like it's well out of the ordinary, right? So if you zoom out, sometimes when we keep zooming in so much, right, things can be, distorted a bit, right? But I mean, yeah, where does this bring us? This brings us basically to a second bottom, right? It's to a second bottom. We're retesting these bottoms right here. And we're also retesting this line right here that we have drawn. We drew this a long, long time ago, okay? It seems to fit quite nicely. Very nicely. So, let's take a look at let's take a look at a little Fibonacci action. Our favorite Italian professor. Was he a professor? No, I don't think so. Maybe a scientist. I guess all scientists are professors, right? So where did we get down to, right? So we got down to almost the 0.618, right? Almost about halfway between the 0.5 and the 0.618 as far as this sell-off is concerned. Oh, there's an alert. So this is actually on a 6-hour basis, and that means the Laguerre is pointing down. It goes from oversold territory and it's crossing down to overbought territory. It's crossing down to go towards oversold territory, right? So that's kind of where this wave has made it so far. So let's look at some other levels. Let's look at this. Okay. So you could see that at the 0.382 we had a ton of congestion right here, right? And originally we were calling this possibly our fifth wave, and then the fifth wave decided to make it between, about halfway between the 0.382 and the 0.5, and now that's what we're calling our fifth wave, as far as this small little fifth wave coming up right now, which would be wave 1 of 3. Remember, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, this would be wave 1 of 3. So yeah, so 0.382 and almost to the 0.5, about halfway to the 0.5. So, that's significant enough, especially for an ABC, right? It's definitely significant for an ABC. Now, if this were to move back up, remember right here, if this right here, this what we were thinking possibly as far as a bullish count is concerned, this would be an ABC, right? We would at least want, hold up a sec. We would at least want right just from this small one wave, right? Let's say this is a one wave, or this is an A wave, right? Remember, because if this is on the bearish count, this could be a 1, 2, and we're down 3, 4, 5, right? On the bullish count, this is an ABC, right? So right now we are sitting, my eyes are crossing a little bit. Okay, we are sitting right now above the 0.382, right? The 0.5 retracement is about 9,300. So, if we got bulls here, it's time for the bulls to show up and push this up. I know I'm saying that I would really like it to break 9,500. 9,500 would be closer to the 0.618, which is about 9,462. But I know that's asking a lot especially of the bulls. But now is the time to do it. If it's not done, it could get pretty ugly, pretty fast. So what's going to happen if, I don't even remember if I went over this part of it, but what's going to happen if we have the bearish count, and the bearish count is where this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say this is ending right here, right? This is all the retracement we're going to get from this. So this is the 1, this is 2, and then we're going to look for the 3. Well, the 3, if we just get a 1 for 1, right? The 3, if we just get a 1 for 1, in other words, if the third leg is just as large as the first leg, okay, which is conservative, okay? It's conservative on the buy side, it's also conservative on the sell side. That would bring us down to about 8,136. What does 8,136 look like? Let's just zoom out here for a sec. 8,136 looks like here. Okay? Nothing really much going on, other than the fact that we had a whole bunch of congestion right here, but I can't really read into that too much. So then where could the third wave end up? So I would look at the 2.618. Right, 2.618, which is about 6,293. So all this is being extended off what possibly could be the first wave. That would bring us down to about 6,293. That's really close to the Y, right? I forget exactly what level we call the Y and the C right here, but let's call it about 6,000. I think it was 6,490, right? So this would be about 200 points less than the way we were measuring it before, if we were going to just have a 1-for-1 extension on this ABC. Okay, so that's also pretty close with regards to the way we were measuring it before, based on this first wave, if this is the bearish count. So something needs to happen here. The suspense is killing me. It's probably killing you guys too. And I've been doing this for so many years, and I'm really patient. But I'm going to be kind of waking up every hour, or sleeping with one eye open, just seeing what's going on. For me, this is a big game. It's a big puzzle, right? How can I figure it out? It's not really about money or trading. It's just about a puzzle, right? Let's figure out the puzzle. A puzzle that has almost infinite types of, you know, directions and patterns and ways to go ahead and look at it. So for me, I just like to figure out the damn puzzle. You know, every minute you get new information in, so it's just, you know, it's addicting. So so yeah, so let's look at some of the other stuff that we were looking at before, as far as like Laguerre, right? Laguerre, we're looking at on a 1 hour basis. Actually, let me look at something real quick here. Real quick. Yeah, what I was trying to see if this is, you know, here you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves in it, right? So then I'm looking for, like, is this like clearly like an A, B, C? Possibly, you know, possibly. It's not as nice of one as I'd like, but, you know, it could possibly be. Anyway, so yeah, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at Laguerre, our old friend Laguerre. So yeah, Laguerre on a 1 hour basis, it's oversold, and it's creeping up. You know, it's crossing up. On a 2 hour basis, we have yeah, Laguerre RSI oversold. 3 hour basis, same thing, oversold. 4 hour, it's kind of in the middle. It's going for more overbought, heading towards oversold, about halfway. 6 hour overbought, and heading back down. 12 hour. So it's kind of a mixed bag, right? And let's take a look at it on a daily basis. Daily basis, oversold. So let's zoom in real quick. Come on. So yeah, where is our, okay, so our, it's kind of hard to see here, but our 200 moving average is 9,045. Okay, that's where we are right now on this candle. It's right about here. So we need, I would say we need to really stay above this 9,045 level. Yeah, I mean, that's, we're having to stay above, we're having to basically stay above some key levels, because of the fact that if we don't, there's so much other, you know, kind of bearish sentiment that I think we can come down pretty quickly. So let's also just take a look at it really quickly on a weekly basis. Oof. Okay, on a weekly basis, we're rejecting these lows. We rejected this low right here, you know, pretty harshly. And that's a good thing to see for the bulls. That's definitely a good thing to see. On a 1 hour basis, yeah, when we're below the 55 EMA. We tried to get up to the 55 EMA. You know, volume is really kind of coming off here. I'm hoping, you know, I'm really hoping we just don't turn. I mean, I really at heart, I'm a bull, but, you know, I keep reading these things as a bear. So yeah, I think we're just gonna leave it there for right now. Let me see if yeah, I think I went over basically all my notes here. So yeah, that's really about it. Oh, 8,400 has to be protected. Yeah, that's kind of an obvious thing. I think I was mentioning that before, but yeah, these bottoms pretty much have to be protected. Okay, if they're not protected, then, you know, let me just, you know, zoom out here. If they're not protected, let's say we get some other crazy formation in here, and yeah, that definitely could happen. But, you know, these 8,400s, these bottoms right here, these swing lows, they have to be protected. If not, then no question, we're moving down. Okay, so let's leave it for there right now. Hope you guys have a great evening and happy trading.